All right, here's another tricky one that is very classic SAT where they're testing the same things your algebra teacher tested you on, but they're asking you in a very unique way. And once you get used to it, you'll start killing it on this test. They're asking us essentially to solve for what are the two possible values of C. So they're essentially, what can this possibly be? There's two possible values for it. And our hint for what it could be is that it's coming from these two binomials being multiplied together, and that A and B added together equals 8. All right, so let us think on what it could be. Well, first off, if I were to write out this binomial or to actually FOIL this out, I'm going to do that now and then compare that instead to this. So what do I mean? Let me write it out and maybe it'll make a little bit more sense. So ax plus bx equals abx squared. Ax times 7, so that would be plus 7ax, and then 2 times bx would give us plus 2bx, and then 2 times 7 is plus 14, and that's actually just 14. And now we can compare that to the original problem that they gave us here. Hacker skills, kicking in with hacker skills. All right, and I could actually, let me compare it top to bottom really here. And I see that, all right, AB is matching up with 15, 14 is matching up with 14, and then 7a plus b, 7ax plus 2bx is giving us cx here. And so what I'll keep that separate just to kind of make our lives a little simple. But what I do know is that a plus b equals 8, but I also now know that a times b gives me 15. That's what this is telling us right here. So we have to ask ourselves, well, what is that got to be? What does that mean? So that means that a would maybe equal 3 and b would equal 5. And we can now plug that into these values here. So we can, and honestly, it really won't matter at this point, because the reason they're giving us two possible values is they recognize that you could be flipping it at any point. So when you ask yourself, well, which one is it? I know it's got to be one or the other. And they're giving us two possible values. That's where the wiggle room comes in. So you're fine. So 7 times a, that's 21x plus 2 times b, which is 5. So that'd be 10x. And what we see is that c could possibly equal 31, and the only option that's giving us this right here is here, and that is D. Where 41 comes from is if you were to possibly flip that, and if you were to think that, well, what if A was 5 and B was 3, and if you were to plug that back in, you would have gotten 41. So just being able to think the way the test is wanting you to think, there's a few of these that pop up where you're comparing essentially like what we see in algebra class, but the answer has like a missing piece in it, and we have to use our foiling skills or our solving skills to help fill in that gap.